Beneath the bruised sky of early morning, the city of Hartford began its day. Buses groaned under their human weight. The coffee houses echoed with boisterous laughter, and the iron giants of industry began their relentless song. Among the city's humdrum, Detective John Hart was a known silhouette, a steady figure among the transient cityscape. A man of remarkable tenacity, John carried his 45 years like an old watch, reliable, weathered, and unyieldingly precise. Yet his storm-gray eyes betrayed an inherent sensitivity, a testament to his seismic past. It was in those eyes that the scars of an Earth's fury remained etched, the echoes of an earthquake he survived years ago. His city knew him as their stalwart defender, but beneath the calm surface lay tectonic fissures, reminders of the ground that once betrayed him. This morning found him at the Hart Haven Cemetery, a tableau of grief under the pale sun. The spectacle of a desecrated grave, its earthly womb disturbed, marked the beginning of a peculiar investigation. Amidst the morning dew and hushed whispers of the bereaved, he knelt beside the gaping grave, his gaze hardening as he took in the profane scene. "The third this month, John," said Officer Mike Reynolds, a young cop with a freckled face, his voice shaky as he handed over the preliminary report. Each stolen body bore one consistency, a tie to AstraCorp, a corporate titan that presided over Hartford like a brooding leviathan. John acknowledged with a solemn nod, his fingers tracing the periphery of the violated grave. A grim silence ensued as the wind rustled through the headstones, whispering tales of quietus interrupted. This was not a mere crime. It was a transgression against the natural order, and John felt a creeping unease tingle his senses, an uncanny echo of the dread he felt before the earth shattered beneath his feet years ago. He returned home to find solace in the warmth of his daughter's laughter and his mother's loving presence. Their residence, modest and comforting, acted as a bulwark against the outside world, the place he vowed to protect at all costs. Yet that evening, as he tucked his daughter into bed, her innocent eyes reflecting the moonlight, a grave understanding dawned on him. The case he held in his hands threatened not just the city's peace, but the sanctuary he held dear. With renewed determination, he dove into the labyrinthine secrets of AstraCorp. Through their dominating facade, he sensed a tremor, a disturbance that mirrored the preludes of an earthquake. Yet this time, he was prepared for the shake. As he dug deeper into the corporate behemoth's ties with the deceased, his experienced gaze sought out the cracks beneath the polished veneer, every lead another step into the quaking mystery. Under the harsh neon glare of the Hartford Police Department, John faced the phantom of his latest investigation, a string of gruesome grave desecrations linked to the titan that was AstraCorp. His eyes scanned the autopsy reports, the sterile language of science doing little to veil the enormity of the violation. These weren't just bodies. They were lives once filled with dreams and desires, reduced now to puzzle pieces in a macabre game. John started paying visits to the bereaved families, seeking answers amidst their raw anguish. These encounters laid bare the human cost of his investigation, fueling his resolve to seek justice. Every grief-stricken face was a mirror, reflecting a world where the finality of death was desecrated, where silence was stolen from the sleeping. Late-night vigils at the cemeteries became routine, the tombstones standing guard as spectral sentinels. The silent air was thick with the smell of damp earth and wilting flowers, an eerie backdrop to his nocturnal sojourns. He felt an affinity with the spectral landscape, both touched by the merciless hand of violation. A breakthrough came in the form of a peculiar detail buried in an autopsy report. "Subdermal markings," he muttered to himself, tracing his finger over the unnerving images of geometric patterns discovered beneath the skin of the victims. It was an alien signature, a possible key to unravel the cadaverous puzzle. He approached the imposing AstraCorp building, its gleaming facade a stark contrast to the city's gritty architecture. He was escorted through a maze of corridors, the air humming with corporate efficiency. His meeting with the company's representative, a smoothly articulate woman named Marianne Hyde, revealed little. Yet his keen senses picked up on the tremors beneath her polished exterior, the subtle contractions that hinted at the unsaid. "What does AstraCorp have to do with the deceased, Miss Hyde?" he asked, the room silent, save for the distant hum of machinery. "I assure you, Detective, we have cooperated fully. Our company mourns the loss of our former employees," she replied, her practiced smile failing to reach her eyes. Her answers, like the walls of AstraCorp, were impervious, revealing nothing. John left the Titan's lair, not with answers, but with a renewed sense of purpose. As he stepped into the cool Hartford night, he felt the weight of the challenge he had embraced. The city slept under a starlit sky, oblivious to the alien horrors that lurked beneath their feet. He gazed up at the celestial expanse, feeling the distant hum of cosmic horror encroaching his reality. In his hands, he held a piece of the puzzle, a sinister whisper from beyond the stars etched under the skin of the departed. The reality of the cadaverous puzzle was more profound, darker than he had imagined. His path was leading him not merely through the labyrinth of a corporate titan, but into the abyss of cosmic terror. He woke with a heavy realization lingering from the corridors of his dreams. He was no longer merely investigating the perverse defilement of graves, but a full-fledged invasion, not of land or resources, but of the last sanctum of privacy, the human mind. His investigation took a darker turn as the sinister reality behind the subdermal markings became clearer. Each etching was not just an alien signature, but a brand of possession, a stamp of an invasive parasite from the vast cold cosmos. The dread within him reverberated with an all-too-familiar tremor. AstraCorp, the titan straddling his city, was implicated deeper into this alien intrusion. He wrestled with his inner demons. The invasive entities he sought to expose were a grotesque reflection of the groundquakes from his past, both invasive, destructive forces that uprooted reality. The veil of normalcy was disintegrating, revealing the terrifying sight of human puppets under the influence of an otherworldly puppeteer. The cosmic horror was here, residing within the minds of its victims. During his confrontation with one of the controlled victims, an ex-employee of AstraCorp, the detective bore witness to the parasite's influence. "The stars speak to us, Detective," the man uttered in a distant voice, his gaze devoid of any trace of his former self. The scene was surreal, chilling to the bone, a nightmare spun into reality. Later, as he held his daughter close, the haunted eyes of the controlled still echoed in his mind. The parasite had erased the man's essence, his humanity lost amidst the echoing whispers of the stars. He found himself standing on a precipice overlooking an abyss. On one side lay his beloved city and family. On the other, the unraveling reality of alien domination. One particularly jarring meeting with Marianne Hyde ended with an icy proclamation. "AstraCorp is pioneering the future, Detective," she announced, her voice resonating with an alien undertone. It sent a shiver down his spine, a stark reminder of the entity he was up against. The twilight over Hartford found its echo in John's eyes as he grappled with the unsettling revelations. His investigation had plunged him into a tempest of cosmic horror, with AstraCorp's imposing titan standing at its eye. As he further unraveled the truth, he found himself walking the thin line that separated his reality from a terrifying nightmare. Each step led him into the heart of the Leviathan. AstraCorp, the puppet master, was but a puppet itself, a grotesque marionette dancing to the alien parasite's tune. Each string of control stretched from the boardrooms of the corporation to the vast cold cosmos, guided by an unseen, inhuman hand. The horrors were not confined to the graves. They slithered into the streets of Hartford, subtly pulling the strings of the unsuspecting. The reality shook him to his core. It reminded him of the earthquake that had torn his world apart years ago. The ground beneath his feet had shattered then, just as his reality was shattering now. Only this time the shaking was not of tectonic plates, but of the very fabric of human existence. During another late-night investigation at AstraCorp, John was ambushed. The last image before darkness swallowed him was of Marianne Hyde, her figure bathed in an unearthly glow, her eyes whispering tales of starlit horrors. Within the chrysalis of unconsciousness, John found himself suspended. His existence teetered on the edge of two realities, one of comforting familiarity, the other of cosmic horror. Around him, the omnipresent hum of AstraCorp melded with whispers from the stars, the eerie symphony of the invaders. AstraCorp had evolved into a grotesque womb for the alien parasites, its concrete walls echoing with their inhuman language. Now within this very belly of the beast, he struggled against the invasive forces, his mind a battlefield. Amidst the shadowy corridors of his mind, he faced the intruding entity. The alien parasite, an eldritch horror, revealed itself not as a solid form, but as a constellation of thoughts, an echo from the distant cosmos. It sought to weave him into the tapestry of its invasive symphony, to make him another marionette in its grotesque performance. But John resisted. He was a survivor, a stalwart defender. His mind became a fortress, his thoughts its soldiers. He wrestled with the invader, each memory, each emotion a weapon against the alien parasite. "Detective, accept our guidance. Together we can transcend," echoed the voice of Marianne Hyde, a grim requiem amidst his struggle. Yet her voice now sounded distant, a fading echo within his fortified mind. "No, we are more than your puppets," he responded, his defiance reverberating within his psyche. His voice was the roar of an earthquake, a testament to his survival and resilience. His words echoed in the grim halls of AstraCorp. His physical form, though immobilized, vibrated with his mental struggle. The entities could feel it, a resistance unlike any other. The strings of control trembled, a dissonant note in their symphony. In the end, he emerged, not unscathed but victorious. He woke to find the once imposing monolith of AstraCorp in disarray. The invasion halted. His resistance had sent shockwaves through the controlling entities, a ripple effect freeing the others. He left AstraCorp, his body carrying the remnants of an invasion survived, his spirit bearing the triumph of a mind reclaimed. The city of Hartford lay ahead, oblivious of the cosmic horrors it had been saved from. John was no longer just the city's loyal guardian, but its silent savior. As he looked upon his city, he knew he had survived yet another disaster. This time, however, he bore not just the physical, but psychological scars of his survival, his perception forever altered by his brush with cosmic horror. His path would now lead him away from the city he had once sworn to protect, not out of fear or defeat, but with the understanding that his struggle was far from over. As the cityscape of Hartford receded in his rearview mirror, John carried with him the memories of an invasion thwarted, a mind reclaimed, and the promise of a continued fight against the alien horrors that lay in wait among the stars. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like it and subscribe to our channel, where you can find more similar stories, and click on the bell icon to never miss one. There is plenty more cosmic horror to come from the Eldritch Tales Factory. Stay tuned, and until next time.